Hey, welcome back to another edition of Everything Football 62. I'm your host, Jonathan Big Tex Johnson, aka Uncle Tex, aka Professor Tex. Smash that like button, subscribe to the page, share with a friend. Any questions, comments, concerns, leave it down there below. Let me go ahead and get with it. I told you I was going to be back. Well, we saw what my team did with Philadelphia. Now, all I'm hearing now is, Jalen Hurts didn't play. Dak didn't play the first game against them, and they still almost came back in Philly and whatnot. But that's not so much what I'm going to really talk about. You talk about the journey with a quarterback or a season, and it's a marathon, obviously. Now, and what we're going to do is I'm just going to take you through. Because I've kind of done this before, because after it's all over said and done with, it comes down to championships. And that's something that Dak has to get. As far as the records or anything like that, before it's all over said and done, when he's going to pretty much own every record, every Dallas Cowboy passing record there. His record speaks for itself. His performance the other day after that horrible interception, which was a lazy lob, great play that Sweat made. Great defensive play. You can't get any better than that. Great play that he made. He elevated, got up. You seen my man was doing kind of a lazy lob and whatnot. My man should put a little bit more pep on that thing. But and Sweat made a great play for a pick six. No denying that. Can't take away from that. Like I tell you guys all the time, y'all should already pretty much know. I'm a guy who loves great football being played, and that was a great football play on the defensive side. They were down. They came back. What I'm not hearing a lot of talk about is that 52-yard bomb to T.Y. Hilton. Ironically enough, I'm watching these sorry Colts play against San Diego and whatnot. I say San Diego, the Chargers, L.A. Chargers. Yeah. So I'm watching that right now. But so with Nick Foles under center, ironically enough, right? So that's something within itself. But look at that ball that he threw, that 52-yard bomb on a 3rd and 30 play. You want to talk about clutch? That not clutch. That's clutch. Now, would that be beautiful if it was in the playoffs? Absolutely. They play from behind. Defense need to get their shit together. But then again, I can't fault a lot of defenses nowadays because the cards are stacked up against them. Period. End of story. There's no getting around that. These guys can throw 40 goddamn balls. You can't touch the wide receiver. You can't touch the quarterback. You can't do nothing. You're literally playing flag football. You can't sneeze on these guys. So points are going to come up, even though you can still put pressure on the quarterback and do what needs to be done. And whatnot. So that's something within itself. Now, having said that, what's the excuse now? See, what we end up having here, and I'm just going to say it, and whatnot. It's not a lot of rope for that of black quarterbacks. They don't give them a lot of rope, pun intended. So it's like, okay, well, and they are under a microscope and they got to go up and above the call of duty, period, in the story. Up and above the call of duty. And so what has to happen is that these guys, so he has to be perfect. Where the other quarterbacks, oh, well, he's still learning, or that's okay, or his line is this, or his offensive coordinator is this, or his head coach is this, or the injuries is this, blah, 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 blah. Which kind of goes back to the thing I was talking about with Russell Wilson and whatnot. Who, like I said, last year was a Pro Bowl for the 9th time in his career, in the 10-11th year that he's been playing. That should say something right there. But nobody tends to talk about that. They act like this guy was a bum off the street. I will say it again. Can anyone in the comments, haven't had it yet, can anybody in the comments, whether they're a Broncos fan or not, just a football fan, these assholes and over at ESPN or NFL Network and all these different guys and whatnot, chumps like Shady McCoy, who, like I said, kind of liked him as a back, but the more and more that guy be opening his mouth, I just be like, wow. It's just like this dude is a straight up trip, right? And I really trip out on that. He played with a quarterback who basically had one season, who's only played in 10 games one time. That was Nick Foles, who's playing tonight, who's already thrown 3 picks. Already thrown 3 picks. And they haven't even left out. They just got in. He's done that pretty much in damn near in 1 quarter of football. Do you want Dak not to be throwing interceptions? Nobody wants to throw interceptions. No quarterback wants to be throwing no interceptions, man. But let's see this for giggles, as I say, for shits and giggles. That last game the other day and whatnot. So Dak goes 27-35 after he threw that horrendous pick 6, 347 and 3 touchdowns, and they won. I need to go back. I'm gonna scroll up for you guys just to see this. This guy's 60-35. He's 7-3 this year. That's 10 starts. That's 10 starts. That's 10 starts with that's 10 starts so far. With 10 starts, this somebody is 2,450 yards, 20 touchdowns, and unfortunately 12 picks, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, pretty much the most in his career. Prior to that was the 2019 season when he went 8-8, and what they went 8-8 that particular year, and he threw for 30 touchdowns. Now 60-35. I don't know. I'm not a big math guy. Pretty damn good percentage, right? So in the midst of that, man, Derwin James just knocked the shot out of somebody. He cold cocked himself. He going to concussion protocol. That was a vicious hit. Of course, anything vicious is a flag. So they're going to get a penalty. He's probably going to get fined. He's going to go to concussion protocol because he was woozy. My man's shoulder messed up. Number 16 for the Colts. He's on the sidelines. Yeah, hell of a hit, but disarmed the ball from him and everything, and here you go. I'll get to where the game is at nowadays. Look clean to me. Let me see. He hit him in the damn shoulder, man. I'm sorry. When you hit him in the shoulder, that means the guy's head's going to move, so then their helmet's going to come together. It wasn't a direct hit there. He hit him in the shoulder, man. Come on. Stop it. God damn, stop it. But anyway, so when guys say this ridiculous shit on television without really having any merit, because one of the things I've learned about football, I played with guys when I was in high school, played with guys, excellent athletes and everything like that, but those guys really wasn't a student of the game. They liked the game and everything that came along with it. They liked the game and whatnot. They didn't mind playing the game, but they technically did not really study the game and really cared that much for the game in itself, the X's and O's of it and what it meant, what it curtailed and all that kind of stuff. And that would be no different than in college, and then you go to the pros. So a lot of these guys be talking a lot of shit and whatnot, and they really don't get off into the historical aspect of the game or the real true X's and O's. They just know about what they need to do, catch the ball, run the ball, tackle the ball, and that's all they know. They don't know anything else. All they know is, I'm going to get the ball. I'm not going to get the ball. Tackle, go get the quarterback, go make the tackle, go do this, go do that. And that's pretty much it. They don't have anything else to go along with that. So they don't know. So those guys that say stupid shit out of their mouth. So for a guy to sit up there and say some stupid shit about Dak Prescott, but don't say that shit about Nick Foles, who probably because of an injury and whatnot, got a chance, won a Super Bowl. What has he done since that Super Bowl? Nothing. He won a playoff game. That's it. That's it. He started 11 games one time in his career. That's the most he's ever started in his career. The most. Okay, so when we start talking about these guys, I said, if you're gonna be fat, let's be fat. So his best year, when he played 10 games, His Pro Bowl yesterday, 2,891 yards, 27 touchdowns, two interceptions. And his career ain't been really shit since then. Like I said, he is a closer, or at least tries to play that role as a closer. So, but his career, compared to Dak Prescott's career, is garbage. It's not even a career. It's not even a career. Okay? It's not even close to a career. Matter of fact, you're looking at somebody who's 29 and 27. I'm going to jump over to Matt Ryan, who has been complete nothing but hot garbage on this team on the 12 games that he's played this year. 3,057 yards, 14 touchdowns, 13 picks. But you don't hear anything. Is this because he's been to a Super Bowl? Maybe. We wouldn't probably be having his career, wouldn't be probably talking about this had he won in the largest deficit of the Super Bowl. Then it comes back December 17th and gives up the largest deficit in the history of the game after being up 33 points. But really wasn't playing any good. It was just Minnesota was just being horrible. But it's the tale of two halves. And since you could throw the ball so many times, you can't do nothing. It's offensive friendly. And no lead is really safe in this league. So you have to you can't let off. You can't let off the gas at all. Okay? But you don't hear anything about Matt. Matt sitting on the sidelines, not dressed, little headset in his ear, or whatever it's called, a little earpiece in his ear, with his little cap on, doing what Matt Ice does, and we'll ride off in the sunset with made a bunch of money. But yet, Dak Prescott is all, every time you look up, is always known for being, well, he hasn't done this, he hasn't done that. Okay. All right. Then I talked about Russell Wilson earlier today. You guys know for sure. I talked about him earlier and whatnot. Just look at his record. Look at his record. Look at what he's done. And you look at, well, let's go to Phillip Rivers. Talk about the Chargers. Playoff games. Played in 12 playoff games. He's 5-7. Russell Wilson, playoff games, he's played in 16 and he's 9-7. 2 visits to the Super Bowl, he's 1-1. 9 Pro Bowls. Phillip Rivers, 8 Pro Bowls. All right, Phillip Rivers played until he was 39. He had a good season. Had a really good season. Matter of fact, pretty good, and whatnot. And they should have actually beat the Bills. I remember that game. I was in a bar actually watching that game, and they with a few mistakes here and there, they should have won that game. He won 11-5, 4,169 yards, 24 touchdowns, 11 picks. Bro, long, prosperous career and whatnot, but never win the big one. And it's always talks about him, Eli, Big Ben, and they'll probably all be in the Hall of Fame. So I really laugh at these things when they do this, and it's being as holery. And we go to, I'm not even bother really going to Nick Foles, but let's just do it for giggles. I've already did that before. Again, so the rope is not that long for black quarterbacks. And Dak did it again. Dak has the stats and everything. Yes, does he need to win a Super Bowl? Absolutely. Absolutely. They have the squad to do it. They just got to get it done and whatnot. And everything kind of goes back to the quarterback, whether it's fair or whether it's unfair. That's just the way that you decide to play that position. That's what happens. That's what happens and whatnot. And again, like I say, it's not fair, but that's the name of the game. But please, we can stop this Dak bashing because other quarterbacks have not been shit. And I've showed you a litany of quarterbacks that have not been anything. However, at the same time, they are known as being, oh, he's crafty, or just all the excuses that is given to these other quarterbacks. No excuses. Now the Chargers, oh, they better win tonight. Well, I will open up a can of whip ass about Justin Herbert. The first quarterback throw 3,000-4,000 yards. Hasn't been to the playoffs though. Hasn't been to the playoffs at all. Well, we'll see what happens though. We will see and whatnot. So the Dak bashing, and for those Philly fans, cut the crap. Same thing, like I said, old boy came in to play for Dak because Dak was hurt. They lose, all that. They say, oh, we didn't have Jalen. Well, we didn't have Dak. We didn't have Dak. Even his biases against Jalen Hurts, and we all know why and whatnot, but we'll see what happens with that as well. So, now I'm going to turn my attention to this raggedy-ass game here that's being played. The effing, speaking of Jalen Hurts, the Pro Bowl. That garbage of a game that should have been outlawed over a decade ago. They're going to actually, now some of the picks, I ain't got no problem with some of the picks that they had here and whatnot, the representation. But that's not the point. The point is, why is this game even still being played? I told you guys a while back about this game and how now it's going to be a flag football. I told you, somebody like Tom Brady, who I don't think has played the Pro Bowl, but has made the Pro Bowl 15 times, hasn't played in one since 2009, if I'm not mistaken. If you're not, and Troy Aikman started the whole movement going back, I'm not going to play in the Pro Bowl. Well, if you're not going to play in the Pro Bowl, you have to forfeit the honor and give it to somebody who's going to play. I don't want to hear shit about, well, playing in the Super Bowl. Screw that. Then don't take it. And what the NFL needs to do, if they're going to play it, because the Pro Bowl for all those years, and I watched it as a kid for those that remember, because it's going to be just a generation of kids. The Pro Bowl is played a week before, or however they do the damn thing. It used to be played after the Super Bowl, a week after the Super Bowl. And the guys played. The only thing you really couldn't do back during that time was you couldn't dial up blitzes. Fair enough. Okay, fair enough, but it was competitive. No longer competitive. It's a fucking football game. It is a football game. So if it's a football game, play football. They talk shit about the preseason. No. They cut the preseason crap out. Let them have inter-game scrimmages with other football teams, 3 teams and whatnot. Coaches there is under the guys of what they do, practice and whatnot, because that's really what it's all about. Then why are we playing the preseason game then? But you won't play the damn Pro Bowl. Play the damn Pro Bowl. Make it competitive. Make it competitive. Pay them. It's a fucking game. It's still pride. So why are you going to play the game, and why are you going to lessen the game? Why did you even change it, as a matter of fact? Makes no fucking sense to me. But this is the NFL that we into today. And so I have an issue with that. A major issue with that. But this is where the game is going nowadays. I don't like it, but it is what it is. My love of the game, love of watching the game, having an opportunity to play in high school and whatnot. So you do what you do. But it makes absolutely no sense. Why are we playing it? What is the point of playing it? What is the point of the Pro Bowl? What it should be, if you're going to do the Pro Bowl the way you're doing it now, get rid of it now and look for your all pro honors because that's going to dictate who's the best. This guy's got 5 or 6 Pro Bowls and stuff like that and ain't in the Hall of Fame. They were good players, but they was never really the top dogs for a long period of time. And some of these guys go in as alternates and everything like that, and it's still counted as a Pro Bowl. But that's not talked about. Used to be played in the Y. That was cool. I don't want to go in the Y no more. Okay, then it's like I say, stop the dictation of it. It's like, no, this is the rules of it. We kick the rules. We do it this particular way. Nah, instead of it's a fucking shit show, and they're reduced now down to playing flag football. Travesty. Absolutely travesty. So, hey man, I don't get it, but we'll see what happens now. We'll see what happens. But like I tell you guys all the time, man. I tell you guys all the time. There is no GOAT. There's no greatest of all time as long as time's still going on. Like I tell you guys all the time. Numbers don't lie and get emotion. People do. Great job, Dak, for handling that business the way you're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? And shut up a lot of people. Keep moving. Keep doing what you do, man. Y'all have a good one.